How are you feeding them? Are you online? Okay, got it. Are you online? Are you doing it networking events? Are you on webinars? Or are you showing up on social media? Are you on TikTok? How are you feeding them? What type of content? How often? Say, yo, I was supposed to be going live every day, but I didn't. I put out one piece of content a day, or I put out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I mean, your sheep starving. They're not gonna rock with you, or they're not gonna be consistent with you. And then what are you feeding them? One of the things I always say, why your brand or your business or your content is not working is because you lack quality content. I'm not saying quality in regards to a camera. I'm talking about quality in regards to the level of nutrition that you're speaking to your people. You giving them blanket stuff. I promise you this, it's a value race. The more value you add, the more you will win. And I promise you, if you give them more value than somebody's paid course, you're going to win. You're going to win. Why? Because so many people are tired of being sold to. So many people are tired of being lied to. So many people are tired of being scammed. So many people are tired. Yet again, you are somebody who's going to help them get out of that tired place, but you still remember what I said. Look, closed mouth does not get fed, nor does it feed. And it's time to get feed. It's time to feed the people. All right, I'm the brand. Here we go. Your brand is broken down to 4 things. We're not going to go on all 4 things. This is a whole little thing. When I do my one-on-ones last 6 to sometimes 12 weeks where we're breaking down this.
I don't know exactly what happened, but
Okay,
there's
we got
no
that.
doubt
That's good. That's
that
good.
the death
I don't know
of
who that
Paul
is.
was a consequence of something that Gomez
Just trying to, can you read
managed.
that for me? Appreciate it. Oh, it looks like we got it. Your brand. Who are you? What do you do? Who do you serve? How are you different? Quick one we're looking at is who are you? Right? Just for those for taking notes, let me make sure. Again, who are you? This is the DNA. This is the level of values. This is your belief system. This is not what you do. Why? Because the second question is what do you do? And this first question, I could care less about what you do. I'm talking about who you are as a person. Next one is what do you do? What is that thing that you do? I always say, what is your blank? Meaning that if you were if there was other people at a table and they say, yo, I need somebody for blank. What they would say, yo, Andrea, I can get it. Yo, she'd be dope for that. Cindy, she'd be great for that. What is your blank? That's what you do. Who do you serve? That's what we're going to today. And then how are you different? Right? So we got the who are you? We got the what do you do? We got the who do you serve? But I wanna know, and that question I always say is who are you talking to? We kind of touched on it a little bit on the live yesterday, right? And I want you to write it somewhere on your paper. Who am I talking to? Who am I talking to? A lot of times we get into a space where people say, yo, I want to cast a large net so I can grab more people. And I get it, I understand. But here's the thing about a large net, it has bigger holes. The large net has bigger holes. So what happens is the people we are supposed to have and the people we're supposed to be working with actually fall through, and the ones we keep ain't the ones we're supposed to get. I don't know if y'all know this. I don't know if y'all know this, but I got a black mama. Some of y'all probably have a black mama also. Some of y'all might be a black mama. And my government is Joseph, Jose, black dude with a Spanish name, been Jose for 30 years. But my government is Joseph. My nickname is Joey. And that was as of a kid, I'd be upstairs. And my mama could be asking for the remote control that's right next to her. Or she could be asking for something that's out of the refrigerator. She would say, Joey. And I would say, what? Man, oh man. You know, a black mama, you say, what? The first thing she say, who are you talking to? And the first thing we say, nobody. And that's the biggest thing that I'm talking about. When we don't understand who we're talking to Nobody. You got to say it with the Keith Sweat voice. This is my mama right here. You know what I'm saying? Who are you talking to? It's not really my mom, but at the same time, y'all know how it go. When you got that black mama, she gonna make sure we're gonna get it right. But as we go forward, one of the things that I wrote an ebook before was called Your Client Avatar. And the things that we went over within this client avatar and understanding who you were was what problems that you solve. We talked about as far as their level of positioning. We talked about their race. We talked about all these different things. And it was a dope ebook. I actually sold a lot of this ebook. But as I started to dig even deeper, remember, this is my profession. This is what I do for a living. I was like, okay, I can't just be cookie cutter. I can't be just surface actually. So again, remember, we were breaking it down. It was age, it was race, it was what are their social media they use, like their sex, their beliefs, right? Desires, fears, their gender, their income, what keeps them up at night, what do they do for fun. But then I started looking truly, I mean, again, I shuffle and ruffle some feathers with this. It ain't none, it's not about none of this. It's not about any of this. Yes, all that plays a part when we're building out our avatar, but when it comes to our messaging, none of this matters. I need you to write this down. Pain doesn't have a demographic. Pain doesn't have a demographic. And the reason why I'm always looking at this is regards to, for those who caught the live, a lot of times people want to move off of, or they say they want to move off desires. I desire to lose weight, but you ain't get up and go to the gym. I desire to also lose weight, and I didn't get up and change my lifestyle in regards to my eating habits. I desire to make $100,000 or more, six figures. Yet I did not do it. I desire to make $1 million. I desire to be better in this space. I desire to be a better husband, or I desire to be a better wife. All these desires, yet at the same time, you haven't done anything out of it. The first time that thing hurts, you start to move. You need to make some things happen with that car, that transmission. Oh, that money you couldn't get before, you find a way. Your kid is sick, you find a way. When you're about to lose your marriage, you find a way. When you're trying to get to a space of really getting to that 100,000 or that $1 million mark, you find a way. When you talk about pain is involved. Pain does not have a demographic. And a lot of times people are trying to move off of desires. When people don't move off of desires, they move off of pain. So I have a theory, or we call it a formula. The formula is the 12 donut theory, or the 12 donut formula. And the way I came up with this, I did retail for so long, but when I was at Verizon Wireless as a store manager, and we would do these store meetings roughly every Friday. And right next door, and this is in Waldorf, Maryland. Shout out to my people from the DMV. Shout out to all my people from Maryland. You know what I'm saying? Waldorf, Maryland. We had a Dunkin' Donuts right next door. And so every Friday, I would make sure that I would go and get the donuts. Now, mind you, I had 5 other managers that were there, had 35 employees. Yet at the same time, 8 to 10 people would come to me and say, Jose, we only want you to buy the donuts. I'm like, huh? What do you mean? It's like, yeah, Jose, we only want you to buy the donuts. I was like, all right, cool. So one day I'm in there buying the donuts, and I would actually get 2 dozen of them, but each one are an identical dozen. So I would get the glaze, I would get the one with the sprinkles, I would get, as far as the chocolate, I would get the one with the cream filling. They always say the glaze is all you need for black people anyway, but I'm not gonna do that. We got the blueberry, which is my favorite. I get the one with the jelly inside, you know what I'm saying? The one that looked like cake or whatever. And I would get, again, one of the dozen and then another one identical. And then it made me think even deeper. And I was like, yo, these 8 to 10 people who are saying, Jose, we only want you to buy those donuts because you bring the best donuts. I'm like, yo, there's an assortment of flavors, yet you only want mine. And I'm thinking to myself, each one of y'all may be eating 1 donut, maybe 2 donuts. If you were a glutton, you were eating 3. If you were a glutton, you were eating 3. If you were homeless, you were probably doing 4. Again, These people who are saying you have the best donuts, they're not eating the whole box. They're only eating one. They're only eating two. Maybe if they were glutton, they were eating three. If they were homeless, they were eating four. Again, they have a small litmus test. Yet again, they saying, Jose, you bring the best donuts. So this donut theory, I was like, okay, let's reverse it a little bit, or let's put it in place. And what I put in place is these are pain points. So instead of 12 specific donuts, these are 12 pain points now. So when I show up, I'm only showing up talking about these specific pain points. You're like, hold up, Jose, I don't understand. Okay, let's go a little bit further. I talk about my OG, Eric Thomas, right? All right, talk about my OG, Eric Thomas. Because of the work that I do in regards to his brain, I noticed one thing. In the last 7 years, truly, and I've said it in front of him, like almost every video the same. Then I looked at Gary Vee. Then I started looking at other people who are successful in this space. Even looked at Tony Robbins. Like, yo, it's the same thing. There's specific pain points that's showing up. Here's the thing about it. Out of the 12, because remember, we're talking about 12. Out of the 12 pain points or these specific things, you might talk about one, maybe two, maybe three. If it was longer, maybe four. Remember the donuts, one, maybe two. If you were glutton, three. If you were homeless, maybe four. Well, let's talk about it. He was homeless, lived in abandoned buildings, ate out of trash cans, dropped out of high school, 12 years to get a 4-year degree. Been with Didi since he was 16. One woman his whole life. Biological dad wasn't in his life. Mom lied to him at a young age. You owe you. Go beast mode. Give 120. What's your why? And I can go on and on. But again, these are certain things or certain elements that you will find in every video. Over and over and over and over and over again. Yet at the same time, I put maybe I don't even know how many I got on here, but you're not hearing all of them at the same time, which each one represents a pain that he went through, but it also represents a pain that he's going to give a solution to in the video. He might do one, might do two, might do three. If it's a long keynote, he might only touch 5. So I started thinking about it even myself. Okay, cool, Jose. What are we doing? What are your 12 donuts? Now I talked about her yesterday. I have a avatar, right? My avatar's named Sharita. She's 35 years old. She got 2.5 kids. She's previously divorced. Right now, she's been in entrepreneurship for 6 months. She doesn't live in the most affluent neighborhood. With the kids, they're getting on her nerves because again, she's trying to juggle entrepreneurship. She's in school trying to juggle relationships and also get her schooling together and get her religious life together as well. She's in her bag and her Bible and her business. What keeps her up at night? Again, remember I said she don't live in the most affluent neighborhood, so ambulances, police, people outside talking. What also keep her up at night? Them kids, they supposed to be going to sleep, but they jumping up on the bed and making noises from upstairs and downstairs, people playing music. What also keeps her up at night? Again, y'all know she dating, so she got little friends at the house, and the friends at the house trying to get her cookies. What also keeps her up at night? The things that she's thinking about while she's in prayer, while she's in meditation. What is that also keeping her up at night? She's listening to sermons, trying to get her mind right, get herself elevated as far as for the next day. I know her intimately. Yet, because I know her, I did not say one thing in regards to her pain. So you probably notice in regards to my donuts for Sharita, she's multi-talented, not knowing what field of entrepreneurship to teach in, not knowing how to get her education, expertise, or experience on paper. She's tired of seeing others become successful, but she feels she is better. She's not knowing where she starts in with her brand. She doesn't know her audience or her avatar. She keeps starting over. I don't know if you know this real quick. I'm gonna pause real quick. Everything that I've said truly has not been talking to y'all. I've been talking to Sharita the whole time. You can see a correlation based off of the pain points. Specifically, everything that I've been saying so far on this challenge has been talking to Sharitha. This is easy for me. Why? Because I talk to her every day. Why? Because I talk to her all day. Why? Because we get on the phone. Really, I'm not getting on the phone, but what I'm saying is every time I show up with 1 or 3 or 5 of the pain points specifically about Sharitha. She keeps starting over. She doesn't know how easy it is to create content. She's uncomfortable with going live. She's a solopreneur and lacks a team. She wants to try every new thing she sees on social media. She lacks time throughout her day for business and family. She's overworked. She doesn't believe she's good enough. Imposter syndrome. She's not disciplined or consistent with showing up online. She's got a lot of notes. Hoarder. We talked about the hoarder.
Come on now, preach.
Here's the crazy part though. Sharitha thick. She African American. She's she fire. You know what I'm saying? If she actually exists, I might have to try to holler. The crazy part though, Sharitha is just old Jose. I want that to kind of settle in your mind. Every specific pain point that I'm talking to is specifically something I went through myself. I just happen to wrap that pain into a woman who I know that is certain things that she's attracted to in regards to content. It's certain things that she's attracted to in regards to when I show up online. It's certain things that she's attracted to that is going to be, okay, you know what? And I always say, the people you are trying to attract, you find out what's attractive to them. But a lot of us are still playing. You're trying to overdo it. So you need to understand that. Oh, I'm gonna give you another way too. So yes, that is Sharitha is the old me. Another way that you can do it specifically is, okay, let's think about maybe a successful client that you had. What's their name? Put their name at the top of the paper. I want you to think about what you did for them. Okay, bet. Let's think about now that, because success is relative. Okay, great. After the levels of success, let's go back and reverse. What did you do for them? Why did you do it for them? What was the pains they were going through, and write them down. Now we got the pains. Or, and I don't recommend this one, but the third one is we could truly make them up from scratch. I don't recommend that one as much because what happens is a lot of times people are trying to create something that does not exist and people are going to call you out. I'd rather you use, as far as your previous situations, or what I would call myself, quantifiable results. Because I had to go through the pains and then I had to help other people go through these pains. So then I created Sharitha. So what you got? We got homework. Your customer avatar, or the dozen donut theory, or the framework. I need you to write down the 12 pain points or the donuts that your avatar experiences. Truly, I always say, oh, let's start out with 6. Nah, y'all are elite. Some of y'all already upgraded to the VIP. I already know you were here for a reason. We are going for 12. I need you to write all of the specific pain points that you have for your avatar. Do not rush it. The second part is, what are the consequences if those pains are not eliminated? See, let's think about it. If I have a migraine and I have a pain and I don't take my Excedrin, or my Excedrin does not work, what happens if that is not eliminated? Then now I'm nauseous. Now I'm sick. My day has now been ruined. What are the specific consequences if the pain is not eliminated? Each one of the 12. And then what solutions do you provide?
It'll be their homework that they got to bring back tomorrow.
Oh, I love it. And what solutions do you provide for each one of those pain points? This ain't for me, this is for you. And I need you to understand, once we understand this, it makes it so much easy. Why? Because all I got to do is show up with one of the 12. Why? Because all I got to do is, even if I got 12 of them, I got 12 days of content at most. Because I could just go live about one of the 12 today. Oh, tomorrow I go live about the other one. I got 12 days of content on just the 12 in general, on the surface. But the thing about it, because each one of these things are something that you create a solution for, you can go even longer. So now I could interweave 3, 4, 5 of them. I could talk about the certain things. I could talk about how you're able to deal with imposter syndrome. Why? Because you were going through certain situations as a child, and because you were neglected and this, that, and the third, and then how you also have abandonment issues when you were growing up and then into your marriage, and why it didn't work in regards to your divorce, but how you were able to make it through. At the same time, I'm able to talk about it for 2 to 3 hours. Why? Because these are the pain points that I specifically deal with, not as far as how tall she is, not about how long her hair is, not about how big her booty is, not talk about if she black, white, Caucasian, or if she's Spanish, not talk about her age. We talk about her pain, because I promise you that Excedrin I talked about with that migraine, if I was to pull it out on the back, it doesn't say for a 42-year-old African-American dude with his hat to the back with a good, pretty decent smile. So we write those down. And it goes back to, again, thinking about it. Who are you? What do you do? Who do you serve? We talked about the who you serve. How are you different? And I want you to think about these two. Who do you do it for? And what's holding you back? And a lot of times when we get into a space, for real, we're going to stop pointing the finger at others. And a lot of times what's holding us back is us. That person in the mirror. That person who keeps creating excuses over and over again. Well, I'm going to do it Monday. Well, I'm gonna do it at the first of the month. I'm gonna do it the first of the year, first quarter. I'm gonna do it on my birthday. I get tired of the excuses. I hear it all the time as far as for my clients, new clients, potential clients. And one of the things that I ask truly, a lot of times people will see me on these webinars or they will see me on these masterminds and they will ask, yo, what could I do for you? And the only thing I say to do is execute. All I say to do is execute. Execute on one of the things that I said. Execute on something, and then tell me the results of that execution. I'm Jose, black dude with a Spanish name. I don't know if it's time for the Q&A, but let's go, LaShana.
Yo, do you know they've been on since 6:30?
Hey, look, for those who had to go, I apologize. For those who wanted to go, I apologize. For those who got the game, I don't.
Listen, this is so fire. You got a couple people that upgraded to VIP so they can get that replay
Let's go.
since you've been on. And I mean, honestly, everything that you shared was so good. I took a screenshot of, you said her name is Sharitha?
Saritha.
I took a screenshot of how in-depth you communicated what her pain points was, because I think a lot of times we're too surface.
Mm-hmm.
Struggle with imposter syndrome. Okay, what does that look like?
Yep.
Overthinking, overanalyzing, not feeling enough. They don't feel like they belong. You got to go deep to where when I come across your content, I'm like, oh, she just, let me clutch my pearls, because you're talking right to me. Otherwise, you're talking over my head. So we got about 10 minutes, guys. Let me know if you have any questions for myself or Jose, anything we shared today. You have your homework. You need to literally create your avatar, aka dream client. And then when we come on tomorrow at 6:30, the first 15 minutes or so, you're going to share that. And I'm going to give you guys some feedback to make sure you're not being too vague or you're not being too general. Go ahead and raise your hand. Go ahead. What'd you say?
I said, I need to see them donuts with them pain points.
I love
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't knock people who say, "Oh, my person is within this age range," because in that age range, yes, there are certain pains and problems. But we're not talking about the age range. We're talking about the pains, the problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to make sure we're clear in that, because I used to teach it to the cows came home. Oh, they're African American, they this, that, and the third. And I started looking, I was like, because I promise you, if you consistent with your message, even if it's a 65-year-old Karen that's giving you money, and you like, no, I only do this for black women, da, 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 da. If she the one who's paying you, hey, maybe we need to check your messaging then.
Yeah, for sure. So Drea said, how did you get out of your own way to produce? Is that for me, him, or both of us, Drea? Well, we can both answer it. I'll go first. For me, it was letting the ego go. It's not about us. It's not about me. So whether, oh, I don't got my lashes on, I don't have no makeup on, I stutter, I got a lazy eye, I got a crooked mouth, guess what? As soon as you admit to your flaws or your gifts or whatever it is, the world is listening. And so, like I told you guys, I now get paid to do what I used to be afraid to do. I dropped 3 speech classes in college. And how dare I say, no, I'm not going to get in front of people and talk. No, I'm not going to do X, Y, Z. How dare I? Because I know that God gave me a gift. And how dare I say, because of this, I'm not going to do it? That's ego. It's not about me. And whoever is in alignment to work with me and to embark on the journey that I have for them through my framework and through what I have, we're going to work together. And when you shrink and you don't show up, or when you are fake and you try to be like Keisha and Susie over there, they're definitely not going to be in alignment, because people they catch and smell fake way down the street. So in short, how did I get over it? I got over myself. And I realized once I was my full authentic self, flaws and all, quirks and all, that's when the magic started happening.
That's good. The main reason is, I mean, I'm gonna just say it as similar to what you were saying, is that you're selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who's in their way, let's say that, not you specifically. It could be you. I mean, I don't know, but you're selfish. And when you start to think about the people that you're helping, when you start to think about this thing being life or death, the reason why I say I'm in the brand also is because there's a lot of people when I worked in retail that would be rushing to work because they were late and get in car accidents. I seen people who would get to work and go through a situation, and because they're right, they get rolled up, or because they're reprimanded, then now they want to tear the place up, or now I got to take a smoke break, or I got to take an air break. My whole day is messed up. Or for those who will get fired and they say, oh, I'm ready to shoot the place up. They'll put that energy into that job, but they won't put that same energy into their brand. They won't put that same passion into their brand. Why? Because again, it's a space of they're only thinking about them. But here's the thing about it. Once we understand who we are as a brand, it is meant to be given to the world. Our purpose, once we understand the alignment of our passions, our gifts, and our competencies, is meant to be given to the world. Our gifts is what God wants us to do. Our passions are what we want to do. And we get them in alignment, that's when we find our purpose. And once we find our purpose, it's meant to be given to the world. So in that space, you're being selfish.
Fact.
Sure.
Do y'all have any other questions? You guys literally, there's no such thing as a silly question. Y'all got the amazing Jose on the line. Like, it should be so many hands up. So I'm just like wondering what's going on. What is going on?
That's good, Kristen.
I have a
I'm saying
question.
that
Type
right.
it now. Oh, they can't come off mute. I'm mute.
Ah, that's what it is.
That's
She
what
said
it
it made
is.
me cry. I have a question. I was like, okay, they're not even able.
Go
Okay.
ahead and come off mute, Kristen. I changed the setting. And also, guys, I'm about to put it's a mindset toolkit that everybody's getting for coming to the challenge today. And there is a confusion to clarity workbook in there. Don't look at it until after the weekend, because I don't want y'all to get too stimulated with the information and become a hoarder. Use that as an accountability tool later. Okay. Come on off mute. What's your question, Kristen?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you for the session. My question is, how do you and again, thank you for that whole, like what you just messaged me, because baby, if I'm not together, I don't want to come on the internet ever. And I think my question is more geared to my parents are seniors, and I feel like sometimes when I call my mom to tell her like, oh, I'm doing what I'm doing now, I don't hear the excitement in my parents' voice, because I know they're older. So they don't believe in it, entrepreneurship, as much. And I think that puts a bolt in me. So how do I jump over? And it's like, I want to do it to even show them even more, like, look. And I think I have a big barrier right there, because my mother paid for me to go to college. And I feel like I'm spiting her because I'm not making the money I'm supposed to be making.
You want me to handle it?
I mean, I'll go easy on mine real quick. One of the things that I've came up with, and this is for everybody too, that just made me think of it, is reverse generational wealth. Reverse generational wealth. We always talk about generational wealth, but what about the reverse? What about our parents, our grandparents, our aunties? And one of the things we can do is become successful. And again, that's relative, in a space that's something that is so easy for us that is already in our hands, we can give. It could be a program, it could be money, it could be investment tips, it could be I created a program called the Federal Code as far as with my partner, and I gave access to the program to my mom. And she said to me, son, you know, you probably just saved your mama life. Now, mind you, she already good and she in a space where, you know, she was receiving as far as her checks and things of that nature, retired from doing daycare and all these different things. Yet at the same time, she said, you might just say, and this was something that was easy for me. Why? Because I already put through the work. I already created the seeds and I'm starting to reap the harvest. And now that harvest is creating new seeds, and something again so small. I said, Mom, take this and do the work. And now she's like, again, you probably just saved your mama life. I was in tears. So it's our duty, again, it goes back to, again, life or death. I didn't know she would even say something like that. It's a duty for us in our entrepreneurial space. And not even that, I always say in ownership space, because some of us are still on the 9 to 5. Yeah. In our ownership space, to become a level of success so we can provide. Because I bet you the biggest thing that we can do is show versus tell. Oh, I bet you that. Oh, you got that new house, girl? You got that new car? Oh, your 401k, you're not using no more. You got it in your investment in the stock market. Oh, you got that IRA. Oh, you flipping houses? Huh?
Yeah. So he said he wasn't gonna be too hard. I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you. They don't live their life. And it's time for you to live yours. And right now they don't understand it, but they will later. And honestly, that's not none of your concern. I know that sounds harsh, but if you keep worrying about what everybody else is thinking, you're going to continue to stay in your head and not produce. And of course, you're going to be smart about it. You're going to do your research. You're going to, be conscientious, but you cannot be fixated on what mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, your kids, your cousin. You cannot. Because at the end of the day, if this was easy, everyone would be doing it. And the reason why they're not is because they're afraid, but you are not. And that's why you're here, surrounding yourself in like-minded environments that's on the same path, that's in alignment. And guess what? They're going to get it. They're just a little behind. They're not getting it yet, but they're going to get it. So I wouldn't be worried about what they're talking about. And you correct me if I'm wrong. You said your mom paid for your degree, or she just want to tell you what to do with education? She paid for it. Okay, that's awesome. You're very blessed to have her pay for it.
Right.
So, when you make the money, you pay it back. But she can't, just because she paid for it, she can't tell you what to do with your life. So you're going to have to set some boundaries, and you're going to have to do what you need to do what's best for you. Otherwise, you're going to end up resenting yourself and your family because your heart's desire is not being met.
Thank you. Thank you. Both of
You're
y'all.
welcome. You're welcome. So listen, the reason why I can talk so candidly and so passionately and so assertive about that is because I get it. I've walked in the same steps. And now my mama talking about, okay, what's the next business you starting? And when it was, oh my God, you leaving corporate, you leaving at 9 to 5? Yes, I am. And now she's on the wagon because she's seen me and she's walked with me through it. So it's not gonna happen overnight, but you got this. I want to thank Jose. I want to thank you so much for popping in on a Friday night to serve.
Dang, it is Friday too. Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it. And then for everybody who stayed on long and late, congratulations. I'm not gonna say thank you. I'm gonna say congratulations, because at the end of the day, knowledge is power, and you don't know what you don't know. If y'all want to give back to us, all I need y'all to do is share in your stories, tag me, tag Jose, and let people know what you're doing right now. Y'all, I'm working on my signature offer. Get ready. If you are a woman that struggles with XYZ, if you are a man in search of blah, 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 y'all don't have to wait till the offer is ready to go to start warming up your audience and building that know, like, and trust. Like,
Can
it's
I
so
give
much
them
to do.
another homework? Look, this works
Yeah.
wonders every time I tell people to do this. Go right into your stories. Now, some of y'all might want to wait till tomorrow, depending on how your algorithm rock. You can do it tomorrow morning or whatever. But you go right into your stories, nothing crazy. You just will say, hey, I'm thinking about doing a cohort, a training, a webinar, a small group, whatever you want to choose about blank. Man, we talked about what's your blank. If you're interested